But yeah, this whole single mom card thing, I'm sorry, I agree with Whitney. I think they were playing it.
Thank
I'm
you.
sorry, you are. And I just want to say, I have a child, just the one. And, he's 18 now. So I'm in a different point in my life. But I do remember being at that point, right? Where it's like, you don't get sleep, you have no life, you don't even pee by yourself. Like it's that place. And I understand all of that. I think the larger issue is just that, I'm sorry, Lindsay's very, I mean, Whitney was pointing something out that was very real and true, which is Lindsay is entitled, and she acts like she deserves more, is better than, is in charge, whatever it is. And that's one of the things about Lindsay that kind of drives me crazy is I go back and forth on her. I think I've seen her and I feel like she's grown a lot, and I give her a lot of credit for that. But even just watching her in this reunion, it's like, "Oh, Lindsay, god damn it. Like, why can't you just take a deep breath and not get so defensive?" But my sister was essentially a single mom, and she was never, I mean, I think I personally was more mindful of her and the struggles that she had versus me because I had a partner. I have a partner. So, I think that we should be, people, I think we need to be aware and mindful of people's situations to understand where they're coming from. But yeah, like if someone says you're playing this single mom card, like let it go. I don't know why they had to make it such an issue because it really wasn't a huge
Mhm.
issue. And the way she handled it, I'm sorry, you guys were rude. You were rude. End of story. You and Georgina were rude, rude, rude. And that's it.
That's comforting for me because I do know some of it again is from not all. I'm friends with two moms who do not do this in any way, shape, or form. Like, where, of course, like one of my friends has a 10-month-old baby. Like, she, once she's had to cancel because her baby's teething and all that. But she gave me notice. It wasn't 1 hour before, where
Mhm.
there's communication and there's still an interest in my life. But I was friends with women for over 20 years. We were all living in different provinces, and I was in a group chat with them, and I left it a couple years ago, and it is still like a huge part. And they did not validate, like, I just wish they would have said, you're right, because you aren't a mom, we're not as interested in you. And even though
Mhm.
you are going through your own stuff, we don't actually see it as important or interesting. And it's the most like heartbroken I've been, in a sense of, I, of course they didn't, I'm glad I left it, I'm glad I brought it up, but now every time I hear anything related to, it's not so much the single mom thing, because I had a single mom as well, but she dated a much older married guy and got a bunch of cash off of him. So like Lindsay, she had
Mhm.
she had a lot of social stigma from our
Yeah.
lifestyle being hidden, but she had a lot of privilege as well. And it is very relevant. There's single moms at my school where the kids lived in a tiny apartment, and it was so different. So yes, when I hear this topic come up, I have so much built up rage inside of me already. But I still am going to talk about moms, but it's Lindsay and Georgina, how they immediately took it. Even Georgina saying, "I think you guys don't respect women," and that may be a little bit true of
I
Whitney.
didn't think
And
that was fail. I mean, I agree with you. I don't think Kenny does respect women. I think some of these men don't respect women, but
yes,
that's got nothing to do with any of that. That's got nothing
thank
to do
you.
with that
I'm
at
glad
all.
to hear that from a mom, because again, I know I have so much bias and built up pain that I'm like, but I also feel like there's some real things that if moms and child free or childless women want to get along more, I feel like there has to be yeah, there's just some things that the way Whitney was, and sorry, that Lindsay was talking and even saying, well, I'm providing for women, or all women at the end of the
Yeah,
episode.
yeah,
What did you
please.
think?
Oh
Like,
my god. I mean, come on. Like, no. And listen, I think that I think it's great that you're, what you're doing, and I'm happy for you and all of these other things, but that's the thing. One life is not better than another life. One choice, we all our whole entire lives are made up of decisions, the decisions that we make. So, if someone makes a different decision than you, one is not better than the other. It just isn't. So we have to stop seeing these things as better, and that's the problem. I I will die on this hill that they did play the single mom card because that was the basis of their argument. It wasn't, "Hey, we are it's been a rough couple weeks. We are exhausted. We would love this big room. I mean, they were playing the card. We are moms, we are single moms, and we're away from our kids. That's that exactly what you did.
And she even
And
said, "We can play. I can play that card if I want to," and then I didn't play the card. So that
yeah,
is where, okay, pick a lane, Lindsay. Of
yeah,
you, like, which one is it? And she went, and yes, I related to how she did go in immediately for Whitney. Of, you just drink matcha and go to yoga all day, and then last night you're begging your boyfriend to pay for your $30,000 closet. But it's like, there it is. Yes, Whitney
yeah.
did call it out first, but there it is, and that's what I feel as well. No, I don't have to take care. I mean, but I always have jobs where I do have to take care of people, even prior to teaching, very intensely. And that was another part where I was like, when have the women in this group chat, I'm like, it doesn't seem like it occurs to them that I'm working with people who are like, there's an area called the downtown east side in Vancouver, and it's the poorest postal code in Canada, and
Mm,
it's very disturbing and it's sad. And like, I was taking care of people where I had to cook for them, I had to clean people's rooms, I've cleaned up human excrement, and I'm like, it seems
mhm,
like it doesn't register. So yeah, it, when I hear that topic come up, I found that to be the most interesting thing, even more than Amanda in West, because I like that Lindsay kind of did go there, because it's like, thank you, you're proving. But it's still, when I'm speaking about this online, of course I'm still getting that pushback, which is what I'm expecting. And there's a part of me that feels like a bad evil person for daring to speak on moms, because another part of my brain, which is, I don't want to be a mom, because I do think it would be like the hardest job in the
mhm.
world. So do you also, as a mom, hear any nuances where you're like, okay, but this is what Whitney's not thinking about? Or how do you see any more of that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that, and I don't know, I feel like Whitney was not, I don't think she's the most dynamic person in the world. I mean, I think it was the second or third episode where she's showing us, like, I guess she's a influencer and she's like making toast. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me here. You've got to do other things besides making toast. So she is not the, I'm kind of surprised she's got this big following because I don't get a hit from her that she's like this uber dynamic, interesting person. But that's the thing is that we are, I hate this sort of pointing the finger at each other, going, I'm better than you because I had children. Basically what it's saying is that your exhaustion, your feelings aren't as valid or special or to be listened to than my feelings because I'm a mother. And I think at the core, if we really stop and take a step back from that, that is not okay. Like, that is just not okay. And I think if we put this into a different context, into a different situation, I think people would be like, oh, God, yeah, I would never say that. But there's something about that. And I think this is the hardest piece for women, really, is, the world makes you feel like if you're a mother, it has to be your life and it has to be your identity. And if you don't make it your identity, and if you don't do that, that somehow you're a bad person or a bad mom. And that's huge. I talk about this all the time with on the reality shows, all these housewife shows, right? All the women always have to justify, like, I did this because of my kids, or I did, like, God forbid anyone ever if a woman makes a selfish choice that a man makes all the time, she would be raked through the coals.